8th meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment to order. I'll be the acting chair tonight. Start off with the Zoning Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial board created by the City of Ames. The board's purpose is to decide on applications for home occupation permits, special use permits, exceptions and variances to the zoning ordinance, applications for conditional use permits in the floodplain, requests for reasonable accommodation because of a handicap, and appeals of decisions of the zoning enforcement officer. As a board of the city, we welcome all testimony. We make our decisions based on the facts and evidence as allowed under city code and presented in open meeting. Testimony before the board must be given under oath or affirmation. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that testimony be focused on new facts or evidence not already presented. We ask that you come to the microphone if you wish to speak so that your testimony will be audible and may be recorded. Before speaking, please complete an orange information card and hand it to the recording secretary. When you are testifying, please address your remarks to the board. We also ask that the proceedings be orderly. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is an independent volunteer board of citizens. We are not part of the city administration. We are served in our efforts by Vicki Fielmeyer, Assistant City Attorney, Benjamin Campbell, City Planner, and Renee Hall, Recording Secretary. The order of proceedings for each application will be as follows. First, an oral statement summarizing the issues and procedural steps will be presented by staff. Second, testimony and evidence will be presented by the applicant. Third, testimony may be heard from any members of the audience who wish to speak in support of or in opposition to the appeal. Next, the board will give the applicant and the city staff an opportunity to present the concluding summaries and arguments. And finally, the board will discuss the issues and evidence and come to a decision. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the May 11th meeting. And I do know that we do have a couple of corrections in the minutes. Let me find those. In Chad's title, it was listed as co-chair in the minutes that were sent out to us in our packet. It should be vice chair. That's already been made in the official copy, but in the copy that was sent out to us, it was co-chair. So the official copy will reflect vice chair. That's the only one that I'm aware of, unless anybody else has any other corrections that they see. There are none. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Moved by Zener.
I'll second.
Second by Patton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item is a request for a special home occupation permit to allow a salon at 1101 Maxwell Avenue. Benjamin?
Good evening. The request before us this evening is to operate a salon as a home occupation. Business will offer haircutting. The use falls under the category of barber shop and beauty parlors, which is considered a special home occupation. Subject property contains a single-story, single-family home with a full basement that was built in 2010, and the assessor lists the square footage of the house at 1,612 feet or 3,224 square feet with the full basement. The property has an attached two-car garage, and the driveway has space for two cars. The applicant is currently in the process of finishing the basement, and the basement will contain the salon and the space for customer use. And here's an aerial of the property, and the applicant submitted a drawing. You can see of the basement there. Going in on the north is to the right here, going in the door on the north side, going down the stairs and into the basement where the salon will be. The applicant notification was made to all property owners within 200 feet, and the applicant did submit signatures from neighbors indicating no objection to the special home occupation, which was included in your packet. The applicant has stated that there will be no outside employees, that there will be no changes made to the premises other than finishing out the basement, that the maximum area is less than 25% of the total, that there will be no sign, There'll be 1 to 8 customer visits per day. The hours are intended to vary by day, but the applicant intends to have hours on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then alternating Saturdays with maybe an occasional Friday. There are no other home occupations at this location, and staff does recommend approval.
Any questions for staff?
No.
Okay. Next to the applicant, do you have anything that you would like to present? Okay. I assume no questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay. Open the public hearing at this time. If there's anyone in the public that would like to speak on this?
On this topic here?
Yes. Okay. Are you here to speak on another topic or?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We'll finish up this first. Then we'll return back to the staff or applicant. Any closing remarks? I assume not. Any questions or any closing
No.
comments from the board?
No.
Okay. Anyone ready to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve alternative 1.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve, to accept alternative number 1. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion is declared approved. Any person desiring to appeal this decision to a court of record may do so within 30 days after the filing of this decision. Okay, we don't have anything else on our agenda.
You could probably take some comments, but you can't take any action on them because it wasn't noticed.
Okay, have you filled out a card?
You choose.
I have not, no, where's the card at?
We need to swear him in.
What's that?
We need to swear him in.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody.
Today's the 7th, right?
8.
8th.
Okay, and a couple of things for you to know. We generally ask people to keep their comments to approximately 3 minutes, so we will ask you to do that as well.
Yep, no problem.
And we'll also ask you to start off by giving us your name and address, please.
Okay, just talking to this one?
Yeah, that should be fine.
I don't know. Okay.
If you want to go up to the
Or you can come up.
stand,
sure.
that one's definitely on.
Okay. All right. My name is Will Dieterman. I live at 1008 Lincoln Way in Ames, Iowa here. And I don't have a PowerPoint, but I did print off a bunch of pieces of paper of maps and whatnot.
Okay.
A bunch of copies, so you can
Okay.
give them to lots of people.
Thank you.
Okay. I am here today because I have noticed issues with the sidewalks and paths in my neighborhood. This is a map of my neighborhood. The blue lines are the existing sidewalks, and the red lines indicate where there isn't any sidewalks. There are 3 sidewalks on South 2nd Street and South 3rd Street that abruptly end in the middle of the block. There is also South Oak Avenue. It doesn't have any sidewalks for 2 blocks, forcing people to either walk on the grass or walk on the street. If you look toward the bottom of the map at O'Neill Park, you will notice that in its northeast corner, it has a tiny 4-foot section of a sidewalk going nowhere. This type of problem can be detrimental to people in wheelchairs or parents walking with their strollers. And this is really a small piece of a bigger problem. I have noticed that the city of Ames has a lot of focus on heavily trafficked roads. And when it comes to sidewalks like South 4th Street or South 6th Street or Lincoln Way, they get a lot more attention than any smaller residential street. And this does make sense. These roads definitely get more pedestrian and bike traffic than any other roads. The issue is, if we want to make Ames a more walkable city, then we also need to focus on where people are walking and less on where people are driving. While I am very happy to hear of the plans to update Lincoln Way, much needed, by the way, and add bigger sidewalks, I believe we should also focus on these smaller residential roads. Giving people options to walk to the grocery store, to the library, to school, to the mall, etc., is the best way to promote walking and biking in our city. And if you can make it as easy as possible for people, it is far more likely that they will use these options instead of driving their car. It's also important to point out that not everyone owns or has access to a car. For example, my wife and I, we only have a single car, and I use it for work most of the time. So she doesn't have access to the same amount of shops and facilities, either because she cannot reach those locations without a car, or she doesn't feel safe walking. And the city shouldn't be limited to those who own a car, because in the long term, it is going to hurt our citizens and local shop owners. Ames also has some fantastic trails all throughout the city. These trails are great for being able to walk in a peaceful nature environment right in the city. What they don't accomplish is giving people more options for practical day-to-day activities. Lastly, I would encourage all of you to take more walks around Ames. It can be very hard to notice the issues while you're driving. When you walk, it's like you see a whole new side of Ames. All the issues and problems will stick out like a sore thumb. You may notice some of the sidewalks need more maintenance. You may realize that certain areas really need a crosswalk. Or you might see that some areas are just plain awkward to walk around. I truly believe that this is the best way to really get to know your city. You get to see the good and the bad. I really want Ames to be the best it can be, and I know you do too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
Yep, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye.